Did you see it? Did you watch any of it? Did you hear about it? Did you know? Did you pay attention this week? Because holy shit, fuck, God, listen guys, there were 2 matches this week. Okay? They were great. Did you watch them? Let's cover them. Let's cover. I'm not going over any bullshit right now. I'm not talking about any bullshit. Let's fucking go right into it. This is some exciting stuff. I don't even need to hype it up. Let's go. Game 1 of the ATL NA was absolutely riveting. Shine versus Zilla in this TVP on Fracture. Started out with a Proxy Reaper. Didn't really do that much, but it did kind of set the pace of the game. We saw then Shine drop 3 Widow Mines into the main base of Zilla, and again, it didn't really get that much done. He only got about 2 probes, but he was able to save the mines and get the medevac safely out of the base. Now this next play set up one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. A Banshee comes into the natural base of Zilla, taking out a bunch of probes. He has Cloak, and Zilla doesn't really have an Observer or an Oracle or anything in sight to take care of this. While this is going on, and a second Banshee is attacking the third base, Shine ends up baiting the Blink out of the Stalkers to attack the Banshee. Meanwhile, the medevac comes back in with the Widow Mines and gets fucking 27 probes, making for a total of 36 probes lost by Zilla in that attack. Holy shit! Zilla, kind of in dire straits, attempts to do a Blink attack here into the main base of Shine, but doesn't really get that much done. He's able to take out some SCVs, maybe a couple of buildings here that are building, but the tank and the Marines are able to defend it. Shine then counters, killing the third base of Zilla, and then sets up another impressive tactical maneuver. Rotating back around to the natural base, sends just a couple of Marines up to take out the Templars and bait out storms, and then sets up the positioning. He's able to get in, get a ton of damage done. Marines are splitting, the tanks are firing, everything's looking really good for Shine here. Even make sure to leave a couple of units back with the tanks to defend them against the Blink Stalkers, able to take them out as well. Shine's impressive appearance here in the first game of ATL grants him the win, and Born Gosu goes up 1-0. Up next, Cyrax took on Alejandro, with what basically looked like a normal ZVZ, starting off with a bunch of Ling Bane aggression, and nothing too completely out of the ordinary at least. While Alejandro switched his tech over to Roaches, Cyrax continued with the Ling Bane aggression, eventually killing the third base of Alejandro, and getting a very impressive Baneling hit here that killed 11 drones. Unfortunately, the follow-up Roach Ravager push from Alejandro was a little bit too much for Cyrax, who did not have enough units at the time to be able to take care of it, unfortunately leading to a loss in this game and bringing the score to 1-1. Up next, Heated Stove had to deal with a Cyclone Hellbat push that just didn't seem to end. It didn't really do that much damage at first. He was able to take out a couple of queens here, but it was the continued follow-up aggression from his opponent that really did the damage. He was able to take out his third base, and Heated Stove just began to fall behind too much economically. He lost even his natural base, but the Mutas did come out and try to defend. They did some damage across the map, but the follow-up push again was just too much. A power mech army on 3 bases against, well, a very gimped Zerg economy unfortunately overwhelmed Heated Stove, and we fell 1-2. With the series on match point, Furkrog came out against Nishi on Parasite, a Zerg who went for a pretty fast Hydra Ling Bane bust. What looked like was going to be game-ending damage, unfortunately, did not work out for the Zerg. Furkrog's defense was just too good. The Oracle stayed alive thanks to the shield battery, and so did the Immortal, and that was just enough to push this army back. The counterattack was strong. Archons and Charge Lots and an Immortal blasted through the natural base of Nishi, and Banelings crashing into a bunch of Archons and Immortals wasn't really gonna do it. All in all, the warp-in in the main base was just enough to give Nishi the push to GG out of the game and tie up the series 2-2. In the ace match, both Zilla and Heated Stove were looking to get their shot at redemption. Heated Stove opening up with a pooled gas just in case any shenanigans came out. He did scout the double Stargate opening, seeing a lot of Phoenixes come down, but that didn't faze him too much. He aggressively began to push and siege the 4th base with Hydra Lurker Roach, and was able to set up a nice position to start attacking. Patience is a virtue, as Heated Stove carefully attacked into the army, slowly picking off units, enough that he could finally aggressively push with overwhelming numbers into the natural base and do just way too much damage. With the Roach follow-up here, there was nothing left that Zilla could do to keep up with the army production of the Zerg, and Heated Stove was able to bring it back 3-2. And I believe this also puts Born Gosu in the Alpha Team League North American Division into the playoffs. Hoip! VTL Week 2 was also nothing short of exciting. A very early adept attack here did not bode well for KDS Best, unfortunately. Walks the all-inspiration Terran was able to push him back with a couple of SCVs, some Marines, and a Cyclone. The harass from Walks was pretty real here, as the drop from him was able to take out a pylon powering most of the gateways in Cybercore. Walks attempted to attack into the natural base here of KDS, but unfortunately was pushed back. However, he did have a drop queued up that did a lot of damage as well, taking out 11 probes. Eventually, KDS Best did make his way across the map to do an attack on his own with Immortal Sentry, and did get, well, pretty good damage done. He was able to make his way up into the main base, but there he was stopped. The SCVs did go ahead and make a surround on him, forcing KDS Best to recall back to his main base. The final attack from Walks, however, was a little bit too much. KDS Best was not able to defend against this Stim Bio army. The upgrades were just a little bit too good, 1-1 I believe to 0-0, and that's the story as it goes. KDS Best did have to GG. We went down 0-1. In the next game, Coffin dropped the double racks and brought the Reapers into the main base of Walks, doing just way too much damage. SCVs died. A lot of SCVs died. 18 in total, actually. This set McCoffin up for a great position to go ahead and just sit back at home, macro up, and come back later on with just a game-ending army. After taking out several tanks with Liberators and Marines, he stimmed to win right into the main base of Walks, causing him to GG and bringing the score to 1-1. Up next, McCoffin went up against the fastest layer in the world. The 2-minute and 30-second layer went down, and the Roach Queen Nidus went up into the main base of McCoffin. Without the tools necessary to defend, McCoffin had to bow out, bringing the score to 1-2 in favor of All Inspiration. Up next, it was Colton's chance to go up against the early Nidus Roach Queen attack of Fizbin, getting up a couple of shield batteries and crotoing out an Immortal. He was able to do his best here in this situation to defend. Though narrowly losing his Immortal and his staying power here, he made some quick decisions, pulling some probes and squeezing out another Immortal, pushing the Zerg back and away and allowing him some breathing room so he can make an attack of his own. Fizbin attempted to rush Lurker on 2 bases, however it was not going to be enough. He simply did not have the larva count to keep up, and with a warp-in into the main base, it was enough to have him GG out of the game and give Born Gosu another win in this series. Up next, Colton took on Ballad, who attempted a Drilling Claws Mine Drop attack that didn't really do that much damage. I don't think he even took out a probe with this. Maybe one, maybe a Stalker, but I think that's all it was able to do. All in all, the investment just wasn't worth it, and Colton was able to push across the map and do just, well, he basically slaughtered him here, even with dropping a couple of Immortals in the main base to get some extra damage done on the add-ons. Colton just had way too much. It was enough to bring the score now 3-2, game on that point for Born Gosu. Up next, Catalyst channeled his inner Morrow here, proxying a factory and getting out a couple of cycles to try to do some damage early on. He was defended by Colton's Zealot Stalker army, but was able to pull Colton's army out of position. This set up an opportunity for the proxy starport medevac play, dropping Hellions into his main base. But with some pretty decent micro and a nicely placed pair of shield batteries, he was able to get away without that much damage done to him, only losing a couple of probes. Colton then attempted to do some damage across the map and was stopped twice, here at the natural base and here with this very nicely placed drop. Just so happened to be placed in the only dark spot in Catalyst's main base. Colton just didn't have enough in this situation, and he did have to get out of there with as much units as he can. He took the 2 Immortals and hightailed it back to his base. Just losing too many units in the preceding failed attacks, Colton just did not have enough back at home. The final push from Catalyst was just a little bit too powerful, and Colton had to GG out. The match was now on 3-3. In his first appearance in a Team League match, Lizard Kingly for Born Gosu came out, scouting the proxy Cyrax right away. After getting a couple SCVs to defend, Catalyst attempted a 3-Rax Reaper from home. However, after trying to YOLO into the main base, he lost every Reaper without doing any damage whatsoever, only slightly damaging a couple of SCVs before dying. Lizard then got aggressive, bringing the Cyclones into the natural base of Catalyst, where that was not really that many units, but he was able to take out a bunch of Marines and then take them into the main base and start doing damage to the SCVs there. With some great micro, he was able to save the Cyclones very low on health until eventually losing a couple of them, but still, taking out 12 SCVs on the already crippled economy of Catalyst was just all that much more impressive. The final push that began to end it all here was a Doom drop here in the back of the natural base, stunting all possible mining. Meanwhile, to throw a little bit more salt in the wound, he was able to deny Stim 10 seconds from being done. Catalyst, trying to process the loss, just sent the rest of his remaining units into the attacking army of Lizard Kingly and finished it off 4-3 for Born Gosu in a very narrow victory again in week 2 of the VTL. Some super high quality post material here. This is the CTL results from last week. We won 5-2. Good shit, guys. Now on to the submissions, where here we have a game that was played on a peat mode between Garbage and Spork. It all started with a failed proxy hatchery and then followed by a Nidus, after a Nidus, after a Nidus, after a Nidus. Anyway, a lot of Nidus swarm hosts going down, none of them really doing any damage, and then you know what happens when you play a Protoss and they have Stargate and they make Mass Oracle. Well, they basically just kill everything because Oracles are pretty fucking good. Anyway, Garbage, this is some payback for having me scrub through that fucking hour and a half of beat mode, you son of a bitch. Physics Noob sends in this replay where he asks, how do I do that thing where I beat Terrans in ZVT? Well, expand more. So he does. He expands once, he expands twice, he expands 3 times, maybe one more time. But does he win? Well, it's a tale as old as time in Zerg vs. Terran.
Tale as old as time. As it can be, barely even friends, then somebody bends.
Hey, y'all remember Corsair DT from Brood War? Well, here is the StarCraft 2 version of that, Phoenix DT. Akashi making great use of DT, about 19 of them here. Yeah. Oh, man. Hydras versus DTs. Good lord. Back to the Team League stuff. 8 consecutive Team League wins. And everything in the past 2 weeks we have won. That's awesome. This is some hype ass shit. This is some high level hype here. This is great. Next week in CTL, we're going up against Daily Life Esports Club. They're currently undefeated and looking very strong here in the CTL season, and I expect everybody on our team to pull together and rally together again and win it, because you guys are awesome and you're doing great work. But yeah, the final ATL NA match of our season is not going to be until October 13th. That's a Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 a.m. CEST. So next week is kind of going to be a little bit light here on the breakdown. So we'll try to get some content for you. You know, it may be a short episode. God knows I can use a little bit of a break. I'm sure I will be covering the VTL match. Whoever it's against, I'm not really sure at this time. But remember, if you want to participate in any of these leagues and any of these events, please contact an admin or check out the information section in the Born Gosu Discord. And we'll set you up. We'll get you in this son of a bitch, because this is some fun stuff. Lizard Kingly just joined in on his first match and he did fucking great. So that could be you if you know you're not participating. I know what your problem is. It's fun. Good times. You may lose. Hey, I mean, short story. I lost about, I don't know, 4 or 5 CTL matches before I ever actually started performing. Then I discovered Banelings and things got a little bit better. Inside the league, we have some events going on as well. The Halloween event is going on, I believe, at this time. There's some round robin shit going on. A couple of different divisions in that. There's a Masters and Diamond division. There's a Platinum division. There's an all other division. Make sure to look out for those casts and that information soon. Born Gosu Underground is also going on. A couple of matches were played. I'm not sure where we're at currently, but we're gonna get some more information on that for you in the next coming weeks. Maybe we can get Michael Morbus on the show to give us a little bit of a update on what's going on in the league and some information there. So, you know, I'd love to get him on. We'll see what we can do. Guys, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Practice hard, do well. We got to get going.
Could please be seated for takeoff. Ladies and gentlemen, our in-flight energy.
If you hear that, that's the sound of the new hype plane. I got to get going, guys, because the train's not going to move fast enough for the amount of hype that I got to spread, so we'll see you then. Y'all know I'm going to be dropping the hype plane pain all week, dropping bombs left and right. Get the hell out of the way, D-Life, because you are next.